Hi, it's Vinny, and I'm here again today with another anxiety tip. This tip is going to be about scheduling, and it is exactly as it sounds. Now, I am a person who is very, just on my personality alone, I'm very organized. I love to organize, categorize things, kind of keep things in very strict schedule system so that I already always know what's going on. I know what's happening. I know where I need to be. I know where someone, if someone else has a job that they need to do, I'm aware of it. And basically, it's just, my way of getting my head wrapped around things that, require sort of a more of a long-term planning system. And now, how scheduling helps with my anxiety is basically, with my anxiety, now I don't know if this is how it is for all people with anxiety, but I know that some people like me who have anxiety, they can really benefit from giving themselves a schedule. Because basically, what is a schedule? It's a system of controlling your environment around you so that it works to your advantage and works in not only your own timing, but to your favor and your capacity. And basically for me, what I schedule is not only like important events such as, I need to go to a doctor's appointment or I need to write this letter out or pay this bill. Like those aren't the only things that I schedule in my life because those are things that I would say people schedule on a typical basis anyway, even people without anxiety. And for me, what scheduling does is it basically sets my day-to-day life on a very set course to keep me focused and to keep me from falling off into, and I know not everyone that has anxiety has depression as well, but for me personally, it's to keep me on track so that I don't end up sitting there dwelling and then kind of stew in the guilt of I didn't get this done. I must be a failure. Why does this keep happening? That sort of cycle. It's kind of, this vicious cycle. So basically what I do is from the moment I wake up to basically when I go to sleep, I schedule my day. Now, I know that sounds like a little rigid, and it is strange because even like a little part of me wants to reject scheduling because I'm a pretty, I wouldn't say lazy person, but I'm like a procrastinator. I like to take things at a more relaxed pace, and I don't usually like to have deadlines for things. I don't really like to be rushed to do something. But for me, the best thing to control my anxiety level is basically to schedule my entire day, which means like, all right, when I wake up, what's the first thing that I do? First thing that I do is I know that I have to eat breakfast. Why do I have to eat breakfast? Not because, oh, hey, I'm hungry or just because it's the first meal of the day. It's because, no, breakfast is required for me to take my depression medication because it requires me to take it with food. So I'm like, all right, step one, have breakfast. Take pill. Take Flonase. Take vitamins. All right, once all that's done, then I'm like, all right, what do we do next? Do we take a shower or we leave that for later? Let's say we take shower. Then I give myself a little tiny bit of leeway where I'm basically like, okay, maybe for the next 2 or so hours, I give myself free time. So I'm like, you can either go on the internet or go in the living room and socialize or, maybe edit a video, something like that, where I'm basically like, this is kind of your unscheduled, taking a break from the rigidity of that kind of everyday schedule. So then from there, I basically go to, all right, now we go to the kitchen. We start planning our meal. That takes about an hour and a half. Then after that, we eat. After that, we watch, usually it's been a regular show lately, but yeah, we watch a TV show for approximately exactly 45 minutes. And then after that, we have a time where we can either decide we're going to take a nap or we're going to cuddle with the boyfriend. And then after that, boyfriend goes to work. I go to the living room. I take out my rabbit so that she can have her playtime from about anywhere from between 9 o'clock all the way up to midnight, because it's a good idea for her to get as much exercise as she can. So then there's that. And then after that, I basically take that time to like, all right, let's get things done. This is the time which I can record my videos because nobody's awake. Nobody's listening to me. I can maybe, get forms done that I need to fill out. So it's like, oh, do I have an application? Do I have some kind of some sort of a form or thing that I need to fill out to kind of, sign, get back to someone by a certain deadline? We'll do that, or maybe this is the time that I decide, hey, let me try some more, new makeup techniques or whatever. And then towards the end of the night when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I basically 1 hour before the time I decide to go to sleep, I shut the lamp off so that my body knows that it's going to be nighttime now. And basically, that's it, rinse and repeat every single day. And, I might do certain things differently, after midnight, because I also see that it's really important that even though you stick to a schedule, you have to give yourself some variety, or else you're going to naturally, what I find, you're going to naturally resist it, because you're going to be like, well, my life is so boring, I do the same things all the time. So make sure to give yourself some variety. But yeah, it is very, very important for me to stay on a schedule because it just helps keep me on track. And the thing about, the thing that's really great with scheduling for people who have anxiety is the fact that scheduling gives someone with anxiety that measure of control that they need. Because a lot of anxiety, it comes from not being able to control or predict an outcome. People start to feel worried, start to feel anxious and, agitated and stressed out when they don't know how their, actions or what, the environment is going to, how it's going to impact, their lives or their emotions or, their state of being. Everything basically seems unpredictable and you're always kind of basically planning for the worst, so to speak. So when you schedule something, you're kind of setting yourself up for, you're basically giving yourself a predictable outcome. You say to yourself, okay, maybe not every day is going to be the same. And maybe there'll be some days where there'll be interruptions like, oh, instead of doing this at 3 o'clock, I actually had to go grocery shopping. Or, oh, today's the day where, I need to start doing laundry. Those are little things that, kind of come and go, but don't happen on a daily basis. But you'll be more prepared for them if you're very used to sticking to a particular schedule, because with that you feel like you have some kind of a grasp on your situation. You know that you always have a plan, you always have a goal, and if you ever feel like, what should I be doing, make sure that you've gotten everything that you need done on your schedule, and then you can, it can start feeling like a reward for yourself when you have free time, basically. So that's basically the tip I wanted to give you guys, and I really hope that anyone that's having a hard time, especially with focusing on accomplishing tasks and like kind of just getting through their daily life, will find making a schedule, especially, and don't be afraid to make it really rigid at first, so that making like a schedule could be really, really helpful to you. And well, I'll leave you here, and I just want you to say thank you again for watching, and take care. Bye!